Welcome to the St. Thomas Festival Arts Series, brought to you by the Division of Festivals. I am Halvor Hart III, your host for today's discussion. Today's discussion is on VI Calypso and VI Calypsonians. Right now we are here at the legendary, one and only Percy bus stop. We used to call this the home of Calypso. And we're here in this natural environment, so you're going to hear the trucks passing and the planes overhead because there's no more fitting area to have this discussion, but where Calypso originated, not specifically originated, but where all the Calypso trash talk and all the Calypso bet and everything start. Today on the set, we have some gentlemen with us. I'm going to introduce them in a minute to you. I want you to keep in mind that Carnival 2022, plan ahead, that's the Virgin Islands 70th Carnival anniversary, and we're going to take it to a whole nother level in the Virgin Islands. Today on my left, we have General Val, King Wadabli, King Bernard Libord, Dr. Bernard Libord, and Mr. Willis Pinney. We're going to start our discussion today, and we're going to go through of where Calypso was, where it came to, where it gone, and how can we probably revive our culture. I'm going to start off here with General Val on my far left. General Val.
Are you that?
What's going on?
I hear.
Glad to see you here. Glad to see you. The more I see you, the better
nice
life
to be
is.
here, man.
Give us a little history about you, Calypso, your singing, how it started.
Well, my Calypso road map start from Antigua. You know, went to a wedding, ended up singing a song by Percy Sledge. You know, so from then I came to St. Thomas and ended up with my brother playing bass, you know, up in Savannah. What the school name right now in Savannah?
Janie Twit.
Janie Twit. They had a little ruin there on the other side, and you know we had a 4-piece. Start with 5 songs. Went to play for a wedding, and ended up playing 3. You know, because the wedding, them 3 songs were hot that time.
I just play them over and over.
You know, yeah, we just play them over and over. They keep requesting, we play over and over and over and over. First check we get, we buy a bass.
And we're gone from then.
We're gone from then.
Got the next one next to me here, the banana man himself, King Wadabli. Wadabli, what's going on?
I'm taking it easy, man.
Glad to see you. I like to see you with the smile on your face. I know you miss Carnival just as I miss Carnival. You know, Wadabli is a big Calypsonian man. He's a big T-shirt man. You know, he just love Carnival like I love Carnival.
Yeah.
Tell us about your role in music, your role as how many times you went Calypso Monarch, how you got to that part, that role.
Well, I humbly started. I really got my first stint with Calypso from really at the church. I went to church, I think it was one Christmas time with my parents. They are Seventh-day Adventists, so, you know, going to Seventh-day Adventist church.
Uh-huh.
So we went to church, and they was singing, the choir was singing, and they came to this hymn, O Come All Ye Faithful. Uh-huh. I don't know the words of the song, but I know a part of the song. You know what I mean? When they say, come and be holy, you know what I mean?
That's the only part I know.
Yeah, that's the only part I know. Uh-huh. So I didn't know the words, though. So I shout out, dee, 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 dee.
Yeah, I start extempo.
Yeah. But I wasn't permitted to listen to Calypso, being from a Seventh-day Adventist family. So I used to have to go lock up myself. When we migrated to St. Thomas, used to have to lock up myself in my room and listen to Calypso, because I couldn't leave mommy hear me listening to Calypso. Okay. That was prohibited. So from then I just started to listen to a lot of Calypso. Shot was my favorite. I love King Abstinent. I love Swallow. And the best, the Mighty Sparrow. You know, a lot of Calypsonians came into view too. One I have to mention, Rashati. He became very inspirational to me.
The man that invented soca.
The man that invented soca.
I know a lot of people are wrong here saying soca, don't even know how soca.
Exactly.
They know what gently on my mind.
Exactly. So from then my singing career started, man. I started playing with a little band called the Dread Ones in school when I came out of school. And then Willis from Mandingo Brass, they come and rescued me. I wouldn't say rescued, recruited me from the Dread Ones.
Yes.
So I had nothing else. Well, Dread Ones was nice. It was my schoolmates. but I had an opportunity to advance a little further in the music with Mandingo. Because Mandingo was popular then. This don't start to win road march and so I said, well, let me get in that swing. So I ended up with Mandingo, and from then, the rest was history.
Okay. How much Calypso Kings you running?
I won 5 consecutive Calypso Kings.
Wow, what are you talking about? Let me go over here to this next gentleman here next to me on my right. The guy that terrorized the 80s. The one and only. The banner man himself, Dr. Bernard Leibert.
You sure?
Yeah. I remember I was in junior high when that song came out, and man, that took the Caribbean, not the Virgin Islands, but that took the Caribbean by storm. Tell us a little bit about your role, your history, and that big song, Banner Jam. How you come up with that?
Well, let me start. I started out in St. Croix with a band called the Flippers. I was a lead guitar player, songwriter, and a singer. And we had 2 #1 hits in the Caribbean in 1973. And then after that, the Flippers, I went solo. And in 1980 Christmas, I went down to a place called La Valley. And I saw this banner, right? And I said, wow, that's a banner. And I studied banology. After
Study
that,
biology.
became a banologist.
You got your PhD in biology.
That's right. Became a banologist. Do operation called banectomy to bring ladies up. In other words, I cure banagitis. The first man ever do that.
Meningitis.
Yeah, then we came with the song now. Don't forget, this is your banner jam.
Bring your banner, roll it back in the band.
Small banner.
Big banner.
You could jump. Small banner.
Young banner.
Come on out. Come and play. Every man.
So now that's a question. So who get Iril Alabama? Boy, they want to know who bought Iril, right?
Yep.
They want about Iril, I can tell you.
No, Iril was is a in-between gentleman
Yeah.
at the time.
At the time, in between gentlemen.
At the time, yeah. And he was a good comedian.
Yes, he was a good comedian.
So, and he was a character,
but
yeah.
he was a real character.
Yeah, he was a character in St. Croix.
Yeah, 'cause he had a whole entry in the parade by
Right.
himself. Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. And then we came St. Thomas right after that, and
And that was it.
that was it. And
How much titles you won?
in terms of
Calypso?
King?
Yeah.
One.
Oh, yeah,
First time I went in, I made a song about. I like to write about events.
About events, yes.
Yeah, I made a song about the AIDS virus then, back in the early days.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
You remember the song?
Yeah, I remember. Things I remember a little bit of it.
Yeah, you know the song. A dodging Jane, a dodging Sue, all me exes them, a dodging too. Brand you done, the playboy thing done. I can't go on, playing no longer fun, and I ain't joking. I dodging everything. Me
I
want
remember
catch nothing. So I
Dodging
dodge-
everything.
Yeah.
On the far right, we have a legend by himself. He comes from a family of musicians, the Pinney brothers, Steve Vance, and the one and only Mr. Willis Pinney. Mr. Pinney,
Yes, sir.
when they talk about Virgin Islands music, you know your name was mentioned large and in charge around. You know, you've been here like what WC, recruit a lot of guys. Hey, you even recruited me.
Well, let me answer your last question first. I didn't recruit you because your belly would have been bigger than mine and you want to out-eat me. So your father was already my friend,
Yes.
so I kept it at that level.
Yes.
So you're like a nephew to me, but everything is only one love.
One love.
Yeah. Yeah. My career actually started in Wayne Aspinall School. Well, before that, my father used to always love music. He will bring music home to St. Kitts when we were living in St. Kitts back in the early 60s. And all the calypso you could think about, Sparrow, especially Sparrow. He loved Sparrow. So that was just like within me, just to love Sparrow too. And then the broader spectrum with Arrow and Shadow and all those other guys that, we really listened to. Then we started with the Freedom Brothers in Wayne Aspinall School. And then, Talop and the Freedom Brothers. That's where we started. And then that was a cousin of mine, Alban Brown. And then when I went to Charlotte Marley High School, I used to go down every afternoon, pick up the band and sing with my mother Volvo. Imagine my mother got a Volvo. I pack in all equipment to go to play out and stuff. That was the Freedom Brothers then. Then afterwards, we changed the name from the Freedom Brothers to Mandingo Brass. If you could ask Darrell, a lot of those guys you see around here in all them bands, they learned from Mandingo.
Came right through.
Darrell Scott, Leslie, the drummer from Imaginations. DeLugo, Al.
Al DeLugo, yes.
Right, all those guys. So, I mean, a lot of those guys passed through Mandingo Brass and then went on and ventured out and spread their wing. But I just love music because my mother, she's a very good singer. My aunt, she's a keyboard player, and the whole family plays instruments and stuff. Also, my two brothers, Vance and Steve, they play with me in the band. So it's just like Bitin that we just brought up like that, and that's it, and then we just went on to do bigger things. Like W say, if I see somebody and they come around the band and they want a little duo, like, gone with them boy, so had to make it happen.
When we look around today, we realize that if I think back to the days, you used to start off the Calypso season with UVI Calypso tent. Then you have Sanctum of Wisdom and Fun, which was Kong Slim tent down Right Cole. You had Groover tent up at high school. Maggie Valem had their tent down at Barnacle Bills. The Ark used to have his tent at Windward Passage. And you had like 7, 8 tents for the season. Like every month you had at least 2 Calypso tents. We down to 1 elimination tent like right now. I mean, Calypso is our culture. Calypso is part of this lovely this carnival thing that we call culture and carnival. What are you guys' thoughts on what's going wrong or where the Calypso going and how you think that we could improve this system to get Calypso back up and running?
Well, first thing, let me comment on that. Right now, these guys, they don't even think on a good topic to sing on. And that's the downfall right there. There are so many things happening in these islands that you could sing on. And these guys degrading women. And that's what turned me off as a Calypso singer or a Calypsonian. Open your this and that. No, I just can't deal with that, man. So they need to look around. There are too many things happening in this community to let those situations go unaddressed by the Calypsonians right now.
What do you think, Val? Where you starting?
He's right. You just have to find a good topic and start a melody with it. There's a lot of melody out there that you can come up with. And once you find a topic and you find your melody, your swing melody that you want to go back to as your chorus, you know what I mean? I think you have something made up that you could go out there and push anytime.
I feel that. Like Bonale, we were just talking about back in La Valley, when you saw the banner and you came up with a song. You had a lot of other songs that you came up with and stuff like that. How did you call your concept and your ideas come about to you?
As I say, I like to sing about events. For instance, my last song done in 2020 about the virus. And it played a lot. A lot of people love it. It's a very good hit. Talking about how the virus killing the whole community and everything. Bad.
Now, again to this gentleman here to my left, because he does come up with some good story. I try and figure out where he does find his ticket. He got half man jam, return of the half man, banana man. I mean, you name it. This man come up with topic. He like to call him Mr. Topic, because he just go up the street and see a man fall along and he going back home and he come out to the song. And I try and figure out, what's your inspiration.
Kind of like that. That's what gives me inspiration. Like, for instance, you walk the street, you see a lot of derelict people or people without mental capacities, you call them crazy, you call them off, So I just say, let me try to do something to try to help them. And if you listen to the words in the song, I even had a part where I say, try and help them, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Find out the problem, you know what I mean? Because these things could happen to each and every one. So I just try to take those things and make sense out of it. I believe in my songs making sense. Things that people can relate to, people can see or hear, you know what I mean? And that's how I go about doing my stuff.
Like the double entendre, like you're turning from bull to cow.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's Calypso. Those are the things that make the art form and have the people coming out to sit down and listen and enjoy and so forth. You're one of the few here that have a son that actually sings Calypso. How did you get that accomplished? Because, he's part of the younger generation and they into a different mindset when it comes to the calypso and the music thing. I try and understand how, and he's very good at it too as well.
I guess one day he tell me write a song for him. He want to sing. So I say you go sing. He tell me he gonna try. So I came up with a little song. I told my daddy to write me a song so I can be a Calypsonian. I want to be just like my daddy. You know his name is King Wadabli. So I come out to try a thing, pam 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 pam, to show the people I can sing. And he went from there. He took it good. He handled it well. From then I started writing songs for him. And he went into his first competition, I think in 2007. In 2007, he went in for the Junior Calypso, and he won his first try. You know what I mean? So that excited him. He wanted to do more. So he kept going. Past couple of years, he wasn't successful in a couple more years. He got beaten by a little girl named Princess Kiki. She was very good.
Yeah, she was very good, yes.
You know, and some others. So he decided to just school out a while. And then in his final year now, in his senior year in high school now, he went back in the competition. And I wrote a song for him about Donald Trump.
Oh, okay.
That's our president.
That's our president.
And he was doing a lot of crazy things in them times. So he came out with a song, good lyrics, good melody, and he won the crown in his last year as a junior too. So he won his first and his last year, and he decided to just keep singing. Up to yesterday, he asked me, Daddy, carnival, I want something, you know what I mean? Write something for me, but I tell him, man, take your time. It all comes in time, you know? We ain't rushing nothing. Take your time. We don't know if we're going to have a carnival, but when they're going to have a carnival, we're going to get something prepared for it.
Well, you in a competition as well. Your thoughts, your ideas of how we think that we could rebuild, encourage the younger ones, them, to sing. You know, you've been with the Magic for all them years. You know, you did your General Val thing and you did your own albums. You did with Bolo and Friends. How do you think that we could encourage these junior Calypsonians to continue singing, or to encourage them to sing as to try to keep the art form alive and stuff like that?
Well, you see, with that kind of thing, being in Magic, like most of the songs I write, I compose myself, right? Mm-hmm. Like I say, I get my topic. And sometimes some of those be imaginary. You understand? Some come to reality, right? Like I had a song in '87 that named Parents Listen to Your Youths. Enough is enough. You gotta listen to your children. Enough is enough. Otherwise you might lose them. And you see what happening.
Yeah, we're losing them
slowly.
We're
losing them slowly but surely. You know, like every couple of days, couple of weekends, you see them gone. You're wondering why. Because we don't take time out to talk to them, to see what the problem is and try to help them. No, the Calypso part now is that they use them like what they say. You know, they come up with this spread out, kickback. When I did Caribbean Women 98, that was where that come from. People used to ridicule women, especially in songs. Talk about skin out, bust back. Remember, you come from a mother, you come from a woman.
Mother, yes.
And if you don't honor that woman, you know what I mean? Hey, who gonna honor the shit for you? You know what I mean? If you look back and think, if your mother had throw you away, someplace in the gut, like they say, go in the bush and you come back, you ain't bring that no more.
Yes,
you know what I mean? How would it have been here? How would it have been you? You know what I mean? So you have to write good topics and put them out there so people can know, you know, relate to.
So in the VI with music, you know, you had Dread Ones, Mandingo Brass, and in the Movements. You had bands like Milo and the Klings, Tremina and the Jamals, and them kind of stuff. So you start to take a shift in music. I know St. Croix, you ended up with like Taco and the Playboys. You ended up with the young guys, what you call them, Enforcements. You had, you know, Quiet Fire, Heat Wave, and stuff. And then we started out, you know, and then the Movements with the Jam Band. You had Imagine, you had 17 Plus coming and stuff. And, you know, it evolved with change, But now we got into another era of Virgin Islands music. We're losing the calypso aspect. the new singers concentrating on the soca. I don't even think like we're just discussing that they understand about Rashate and how he came about with soca when he tried that Gently on My Mind. 'Cause everything was a 2-beat foot pedal, and then when he did the 4-beat foot pedal, and it took the whole shift, and which Shot and all them guys run with it, and it came to being. What we think about where the VI music is, if the VI music still have a song, if we still have something called VI music and VI song.
Well, I want to jump in there and say something, right? I mean, Bernard, hold your thoughts, right? I remember years ago, bands from up here, say St. Martin, down to Trinidad, everybody used to listen to Imagie, listen to Jamba and what we come out with. Every year after year after year. And when you hear the kind of song they come out with after our carnival, you could tell that they listen to us.
True.
I'm telling you, nowadays, they ain't having that kind of thoughts.
What you guys thoughts on that?
Well,
They can-
right now, I think that one of the most important things is the tempo, the pace of the music.
Yeah.
Long ago, you could have come up the road all night with a slow groovy, la la, la 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 la. You're coming up the road, you're grooving. Now, it's a broke down thing. Speeding going down the road, so you have to catch your breath. You don't have to keep up. You know what I mean? So it's a different thing. You don't expect things to be the same every year. But, you know, it's a drastic change from what we used to have to what we have now.
Rana Jam.
Yeah, I think, right, if they could mix good lyrics and melody with the rhythm they're doing, because we're not going to get them out of this thing.
Uh-huh.
They're young.
Yes.
Different time.
Yeah, the rhythm
Right?
have changed.
The rhythm has changed. Keep the rhythm, but mix it with melody and good lyrics, gone down the road.
But
Mr. Weiner,
the
even
thing
me.
is, years ago, you could have listened to to a band. Each band had their own distinctive sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now,
right.
all the band got to call the name. You wouldn't know who they are.
I agree with that.
Because there's no distinction whatsoever in all them songs alike.
Yes.
Boogudum, boogudum, boogudum.
Same
Bam, bam,
rhythm.
bam, bam, bam.
Everybody got the same rhythm, the
And
same drive.
You know, the thing is that there's no distinctive songs in these bands now. And you need to find some kind of yourself. That is the biggest problem that they have. Identity is a word, what I believe. You're right.
You know, another thing they have, a lot of young bands have asked me, because I used to be in Sweeter Band,
Yes.
and them other different little bands I try to help out. And they say, General, you need to come here because you want to travel like how I travel. As Carnival done, are you gone? Imagie gone. I said, well, you have to make songs that can people outside of St. Thomas or the Virgin Islands can resonate to. That when St. Thomas see you going after every carnival, they must want, why Imagie going out to be, and the songs them ain't good in St. Thomas? It's not that the songs ain't good in St. Thomas, it's that the songs resonate with the Calypso people them outside of St. Thomas. You understand? But when they come St. Thomas, if you could please St. Thomas people, you can please the world.
Please the wall.
I've heard that many, many times before. and
Telling you.
That's the truth.
It's a hard
Telling
market.
you.
Well, they say the 3 hardest markets in the Caribbean is St. Thomas, St. Kitts, and Antigua. I know St. Kitts and Antigua did a turn around and walk off, leave you this, then not blame by yourself. You know, it's a rough situation.
Well, I can tell you something. When we went in there, they walked from Boston, came all the way out Anchorage. That's what I believe. Elimat got dance up Palm Lodge. And Mandingo Brass, the one side of Frigate Bay, going on the one side because of the full of people.
Yes.
So,
it have one thing you made a
Man.
statement
Yeah.
of music lasting. When I started to write music, like to decide I'm going to sing and write song and thing, my good friend Nick Friday had tell me a thing. He said, listen, when you're writing a song, you got to keep one factor in mind. If you write a song for Carnival, and when Carnival done, your song done, then it ain't what
It
the
ain't what.
record it, what
That's
the record.
right.
Your song's supposed to take you around the wall.
Yep. And when you play that song 5 or 10 years after, it sounds like a brand new song.
Yes.
but you know, the other day, surprisingly, I think you would call me too, Peter Hartley had a session with Mandingo Brass.
Yeah.
And some of them songs, I mean, I couldn't believe the music we were playing.
yeah.
I mean, I ain't said because it was us. Yeah. And then the next day he did Imagine or Somebody, and it's incredible the kind of music that St. Thomas put out over the years.
Yeah, man.
Yes. It's been a nice discussion here today down here at Porcy's bus stop. And when we look around, you see all the authentic old stuff that hasn't never changed. You know, this is where we all come, discuss Calypso. When the Calypso Illumination done Saturday night, and the other one done Sunday, Monday afternoon, bright and sunny Monday afternoon. Everybody in here discussing what happened the weekend. I would like to thank you guys for coming today, participating in this Festival Art Series.
Yeah, nice.
We're going to try to do a little more of these over the years and see what happens. Give me some closing remarks from you guys.
Well, what we would like to see happen, right, is that Calypsonians go out there and put their songs, whatever you record. You might say it don't sound good, but you put it on the radio, let the people out there decide if your song is a good song or not. Once the DJ then play it, you understand?
Yes.
They're going to hear it, and that will bring more people out to participate.
What,
you know what I
Lovely?
mean?
Yeah, sometimes reality is sometimes the line shines on me. But sometimes I could barely see. You know, that's the reality of the whole thing.
Doc?
Well, what I'd like to say to the young folks, young people, life itself have a lot of wealth. So please, humble yourself.
Mr. Finney?
My son, all I'm going to say is I like what happened today, and bring back something 22. I might surprise you because my grandchildren interested in singing too. As a matter of fact, my oldest granddaughter, Regine, and my one grandson, Rikai, they want to do a duo. So 2022, watch out for the Penny Gang.
Gentlemen, we might do this again sometime during the year and have these discussions on Virgin Islands music.
Well, you know, Lamy being in Porcy's.
Yeah, Porcy's
I got to come back.